Good day, Kings. This is another video. I actually had uploaded this video. I did a recap on it, but then turns out the audio quality was extremely bad. There was something wrong with the mic. I realized after I had already finished recording, so now I have to re-record it again. And yeah, this one is probably not going to be as in-depth as that one. I couldn't really fix it in terms of the editing and everything. So I'm pretty sorry about that. Anyway, this was a Sicilian defense, a dragon Sicilian. Actually, I had the white pieces, and I started out with e4. Opponent went c5, knight f3, d6, d4, cd, knight d. Pretty standard stuff. Knight c6. Now this is a very critical moment in this position, right? Because here I played knight c3. Now, there's nothing wrong with knight c3, but there's a better move. So back in the day, what really used to challenge this structure much was what is called the Marozzi or Marocci bind, whatever you want to call it, right? This pawn structure here, and then you put your pawns on B. You put your pawns on B3 here, F3 maybe, bishop E2. Not that, bishop e2, knight c3, bishop e3, queen d2, short castles, and you have a very strong sort of play here, bring the rooks to the center, that type of thing, right? I wanted to go for it, but I kind of had a doubt. I don't know why, for some weird odd reason, because in this position, dragon players would finesse the move knight f6, right? Inducing knight c3 and then go g6. And then maybe even knight c6 here. Because that move order stays away from the Marocci bind. It's just trying to avoid it, right? But my opponent wasn't trying to avoid it, but I also didn't go for it, which is funny because that's what I normally play. But anyway, I went knight c3, g6, bishop e3, pretty standard, bishop g7, queen d2, knight f6, f3, bishop. f3 was a bit of a slow play, shouldn't have done that, but okay, it's still fine. Bishop d7, bishop e2, rook c8. And here I was thinking to myself, do I castle long? Do I castle short? Which one is which? Do I just go h4, h5, keep the king in the center right here, right? It's safe because then just king f2, it's safe. There are a lot of things like to think about, but I just castled long, and then he played knight b4. Now that's a trick here he was hoping for, which did not work, and I'll show you why. After here, I played the move a3, right? And then he snagged the rook. The knight here. Now, if I take with the queen, just knight a2 check is a fork of this pieces. It's a family fork, and then I lose my queen, right? Because then king b1, and then just knight takes. I can resign. But I don't know what he missed because I can just take with the pawn. After rook takes, just b takes. And now this does not really work because after knight, here check, just king here. The knight is trapped and it's going to fall. So if something like bishop e6, I can even chop that down and then just chop here. Right? He's losing. So I played b takes e3, which he did not expect. Oh no, not in that line. In this line rather. Oh, sorry, in this line. Yes. B takes c3. Then he played back knight c6. Then I just chopped down the knight to be practical. Okay, because even here at this position, you gotta understand I can go like h4, h5, h6 maybe, bishop h6, just trade off the bishop right here. I can go for such lines, right? Because my position is strong, like it's plus 1.3, but it's not really easy to attack black because the king is going to be stuck on this side of the board. Mine is also going to be a little bit suspicious here, even though I can actually run it this way, which you'll see these ideas come up later in the game as you play, right? So anyway, I was like, okay, let's just be practical. Knight takes, b takes, bishop h6, forcing the exchange of the bishop, because once this bishop comes alive on this diagonal, I'm losing. And then castles, bishop takes on g7, king takes on g7. Then I'm glad I found this move, but the engine just wanted me to go queen e3 either way. I thought to myself, if I go queen d4, induce c5, and then play queen e3, and then after queen a5, just play c4, which is what I played in the game. But the engine just wanted me to go queen e3 and relax. So I played queen c5. I'm in d4, c5, queen e3, queen a4, c4. So all these moves, rook b6, rook d3, very important move, preparing to go this way and challenge the rook here in exchange. And so he played the best move, bishop a4, basically preventing the rook from landing here on b3. And then I played rook fd1, and here the engine is giving a crazy line that I just should go back and chill. But no, why would I want to do that, right? I'm an exchange up. I want to win this game. So rook fd1, and I'm trying to sort of create a pathway where my king can just run and just chill here and be safe. That's what I'm trying to create. So knight d7, and the point is the knight wants to arrive here on e5, but then now I seize this moment to rewrite my queen so that I can actually get out here this way, right? And this is what I came up with. Queen d2, offering a queen exchange, because if we exchange queens then I'm happy, right? He needs to keep queens on the board so that he will at least have fighting chances. Queen b6 refuses. Queen c3 check on the king over here, guards the square. This check doesn't really scare me because then I just move out and then I hit the queen once it arrives there, so that's not scary. And then king down, and then f4, king g7, and then f4, very important move, controls this square, e5 over here, so that the knight cannot just jump in and start causing problems for the white position, because then this c pawn is also kind of loose and this bishop is kind of bad, but it's serving a defensive purpose, so it's a useful bishop. It's a useful bishop, right? And he goes knight f8, which is a good move, trying to go for e6 and then come in here on d4. And this is going to be a strong piece, even though it can be booted by this pawn, but the position is so awkward. This is just going to be a strong knight here, right? So I go bishop g4, only move. It holds the position, and here I thought to myself, if black goes for something like h5, just takes, rook g3 check, and you can see now there's coordination of the queen and the rook here, so he cannot just mindlessly play here, because then that's just mate over there. So he'd have to play something like g6, and then I just go f5. I'm crashing through. If something like here, just rook g3, right? Maybe queen b7 hitting that over there, I don't know, then just takes. This is winning. Like, this is winning. So that's what I was going to do had he played h5. I was going to sack the bishop there. He does not do that. He plays queen b7, which I believe was also a good move. Position is relatively in the balance. Like, it's not that huge advantage to white because of such a bad pawn structure, and like white's pieces are also like very unwell coordinated, so that's why it's kind of like minuscule like that, right? So I played rook e1 here. Now, I couldn't decide between rook e3 and rook e1, but I ended up going for rook e1, and this was my point, right? If I play rook e3, in certain lines, right, let's say even in the same sack, even though this is winning, but let's say it was not winning, right? This pawn is loose because now the queen is on b7 and it seizes. Even though this line in particular is winning, I'm just trying to show you a point that's why I didn't want to play rook e3 and tie my rook to here. And instead, I opted for rook e1 instead, because I thought this is still flexible to go this way. It's the only rook that can go there for now. And then such things are still optional, and there's no sort of counterplay maybe potentially in the future through the queen coming on e4. That's what I thought to myself. And so I played rook e1, still okay move, but as you can tell, I'm kind of like losing the thread here, but I think here I had to play a little bit more energetically. I'm not sure really how. I think rook d5 was also just fine. Yeah, just rook d5. Yeah, I think I had to go like just rook d5. Oh no, rook d5 is bad. Why did I have to play here? Because bishop f3 does not really work, I know. Oh man, I can't really remember, but there was basically maybe even queen just here to a4 hitting the bishop, because then there's no danger here. That's the bottom line. Oh no, but then if queen a5, there's this tactic, just takes, fork. Yeah, this is winning, because now I can take because this is mate. I mean, not that, this is mate. So I can't even go queen a5. I can't really remember what was here, but I couldn't find the right move. Let's switch on the engine and see what I had to play here instead of rook e1. So instead of rook e1, after queen b7, instead of rook e1, okay, rook e1 is the top engine line, so I play the right move, I guess. Or g3. No, I play the best move. Rook e1. I play the best move. Okay, nice. So anyway, that was that. And then here he played sort of like a waiting move. He played a6. And then after that, after a6, there was f5. After f5, there was f6, there was f into g, h into g6, and then rook g3, right? King g7, h4, bishop d7. Now here I missed the line. I was just supposed to take this bishop, and if takes, just push the pawn here. Now if the pawn comes forward, just rook takes, because this queen is actually in line with this king over here. This was the line I had to go for after that, but instead of just taking the bishop, I went bishop f5, and now he took this time to actually get out of the pin, right? Got out of the pin, and now I took there, and then king d2. So king d2 was the beginning of things going really, really bad. The king is safe, number one here on c1. You need to understand that can't really be touched, because this check here, just king d2, and then what? Then I'm hitting your queen, right? Everything is covered in the white position. This pawn is protected well by the queen. The queen holds the position well together. You know, it's like a glue. It's a glue. It's like a mother of the house. You know, it keeps everybody together, everyone in place. So I didn't really understand why I went for king d2 afterwards, but my idea was just to like sort of run this way and then try to just get this rooks off, maybe the queens, and then use this open line to sort of come this way and I don't know, create something. I think that's what I was thinking. And then king d2, this allows black to equalize. 95 is the pass move. Rook h3 was a waste of time. Queen g4, now you can tell that the queen is headed this way, right? Because there's this hole on g4, and it's important to note that even though there are all these white holes, my queen now can't really like go about exploiting them or something. Nope, not that way. Queens don't move like that. Oops, I don't know, I don't seem to be able to draw arrows today. This knight guards key squares here, and my queen now is sort of tied to this. Also, why would you want to put your king here, right, like that, when you can see that the enemy knight was about to jump in? Because now, just so you understand, moves like this, trying to go for h6, won't work because of things like knight takes c4 check. Like visually, this is something one must see and be aware of, because knights gallop, like they just gallop, right? So king d2, h5, after queen d7, g5. King here was still fine. Queen g4 check, queen, king f4. Now I stuck to my plan, and then king f4, king g3. Now here is where I even went extremely wrong. Now this is winning for white. This is winning, right? My opponent sort of was too ambitious, and he shouldn't have done that. Well, it's not completely winning, but white is better again. And the point is just rook h4, right? Pin this to that, and then if queen g4, just play rook h1. This is good, right? And every time this pawn moves, my rook can come and attack it. But that has to happen while the queen is here and not here on f4, seeing f2 square. And you'll understand why shortly, right? Instead, I was also, by the way, down on time here. I think I was like 17 seconds. I was living on the increment because the format was 90-90 plus 30 seconds increment. So I went rook h1 from g4, which is losing immediately, right? Because there's no time for me to play rook h4. Then here again, this was in fact my moment. It was not really losing. This was still drawable. Let's just wait for the evil bar to adjust. Here I should have played rook h3. This is holdable because after the queen here, just here, right? I should have played this. and now I'm hitting that. Because from here onwards, actually, I think here there's just knight d3, and then takes, and then rook here, right? And then I can't really guard with the rook here on b2. Yeah, I think that was the line. Not quite sure. Yeah, because if rook b2 just takes, mate, right? So I can't really do that. So it has still my chance to sort of like try and save the game. So after g3 and rook h3, queen f2 check, king here, knight d3, takes, and then here I actually had to just play the simple move, rook takes on g3. Just rook takes on g3. And after queen takes, maybe try to play this end game, king h2 and then queen h5 check, and then just back here, right? Maybe let's say, for example, maybe he can give me a perpetual and then we go home, or takes. But then this structure, well, I'm not a GM, but it's drawable because of this pawn over here, right? Can maybe try to do something and hold. And furthermore, it's important to note, even though my king is not safe, his king is actually very safe. He has king safety. I can just go maybe not there. That'd be nice for him. I'll just hang a piece there, right? Try to come in this way and stuff like that, and then maybe push my a pawn. I don't know, but it's a very difficult endgame and very complicated. Even if the engine says black is better, it's very tricky to play. And also his king is more closer to the center, so it can come in this way, right, or that way. You never know. He has this thing, he can do this, right? So even this way, but obviously for now the queen is on this diagonal. But should it move, that's how his king can sort of slowly advance. His queen can go back easily, guard this pawn, maybe even that pawn, or try to triangulate it to this square and then to that square, so that it holds the position together from this point onwards. You know what I mean? Like black can play this. This is playable for black, like extremely playable. So yeah, I thought he had to go for this line, but I went for the rather more dangerous line, loses on the spot, rook f1, mate in 4. And my opponent, being the sport that he is, he spotted this move. He plays rook b1. I put a double exclamation mark on it and I resigned. Because I cannot take the queen, right? It's an illegal move because this sees the rook was seeing my rook. And if I take the rook, then it's just mate in 1. Checkmate over there, right? So now I literally have to play something like queen here. Then he just takes. He's chilling. Rook up. This is just mate, right? If I choose to ignore that and go this way, it's still just mate. Even just mate. Right? It's so sad. Like, just so you understand, it's just so sad. I'm losing. Rook b1, that was it. So rook h1 was a terrible move, right? Rook h1, yeah. But this was not really the huge mistake that got me killed. It was rook f1. Rook h1 was still playable, even if it was much worse. I had to go for rook h4. So yeah, this was a bum of a game. This was round 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this recap for the second time because I had to delete the old one. Until next time, adjourned.